So my name is 6-Shreemayee Nanda. I'm a resident of Cuttack. I've completed my LLB from School of Law, KIT University, and I'm currently engaged as a research assistant in High Court of Odisha.
Okay. So, you come from which district?
Cuttack, sir.
Cuttack?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me something about what is the significance of this name Cuttack?
So it derives its name from the Sanskrit word Kattaka, which means the seat of the government is protected by the military or military camp.
Okay. Who was the king who established the city of Cuttack?
Sir, Ananta Bhimadeva III. Yes.
And he was from which dynasty?
Ganga dynasty, sir.
Ganga dynasty.
Yes.
Okay. So, can you tell me some of the famous temples that Ganga dynasty has built?
So the Gadachandi Mandir temple, which is inside the Barabati fort, which we go interior, the Cuttack Chandi temple is famous in Cuttack, and I'm aware of this.
In entire Odisha, okay, not only in Cuttack, in entire Odisha, this Ganga dynasty is very famous for some of the temples. Okay, most of the famous temples in India have been Odisha have been constructed by them.
Yes.
So, do you know of any such temples?
No, sir.
No?
No, sir.
Okay. So, apart from temples, why Cuttack is famous?
So Cuttack is famous for the silver filigree work. It is.
What are the types of filigree that you find in Cuttack?
So Pattachitra and good. I'm sorry, sir. I'm aware of one.
You are aware of the
Yes.
And what is the importance of Cuttack from the point of view of judiciary?
So Cuttack, the High Court of the state of Odisha is situated in Cuttack district.
There are a lot of times there has been demand that it should be shifted to the capital, Bhubaneswar. What is your view regarding it?
Sir, I'll not be able to answer that.
Huh?
I'll not be able to answer that.
What is your view? I am not asking you a factual question. What is your view? Some people are saying that it should be there in Cuttack. Some people are saying that for administrative convenience, since it should be shifted to the capital. What is your view about it? I am not asking any issue, fact-based question, right? It should be shifted.
No, sir, it should not be.
If it should be shifted, why? If it should not be shifted, why? That is what I want to ask.
Sir, it should not be shifted to Bhubaneswar because since time it was there in Cuttack, and as of now there aren't any major administrative dysfunctions that happens. It functions just fine. High Court placed in Cuttack.
Yes. So, can you tell me what are the rules made by the Supreme Court, convention made by the Supreme Court to be followed if additional bench of the High Court is to be established somewhere? There is a demand that it should be established in Western Odisha. Why till now it has not been established? Are you aware of the rules which the Supreme Court has proposed, or the various points which the Supreme Court has proposed, that these criteria are fulfilled, then we can go for it? Separate bench of the High Court.
So Justice Jaswant Singh Commission was appointed for determining whether a second bench of High Court in the same district can be opened or not, whereby that commission gave certain guidelines which I'll not be able to tell you right now.
Okay. Can you tell me what is the concept of or the two important components of a crime?
Sir, the mens rea and the actus reus.
Okay, so in case of mens rea under the Indian Penal Code, what can you tell?
So mens rea basically means the motive or intention which leads to the commission of a crime. It mens rea coupled with
What is the difference between mistake of fact and mistake of law?
So mistake of fact means there is a confusion, or a person gets confused or holds a misconception about a particular fact, whether it exists or not. Mistake of law means a person finds himself confused whether that particular act is provided under law, he should do it or he should.
Meaning of dolai incapax?
Sir, doli incapax means a person under the age of 7 years is totally exempted from punishment if he or she commits any crime.
So, what is the concept of private defense and which is the major case of regarding it?
So the concept of private defense means one should defend oneself first and then help others when there are
What are the 4 stages of crime?
So the 4 stages: the motive, second.
In which section criminal conspiracy is mentioned?
So section 120A of the Indian Penal Code. Sir, doing any lawful act while unlawful means, or doing an unlawful act.
Can you give me an example of reformative theory which is being applied in Indian judiciary?
So the Juvenile Justice Act, for instance, provides for people who are juveniles, the age group,
What is party and in which section it is being written?
So under section 146 of the Penal Code, it has been defined when force is used by any member of the unlawful assembly, the offence is called rioting.
What is unlawful assembly?
Unlawful assembly, when a group of 5 persons commit certain acts like robbery, theft, mischief, or overawing by criminal force the governor or the president, or stopping the lawful execution of any order, or forcing a person to do something which by law that person should not do.
Okay. What is extortion and in which section it is being written?
So under section 383 of the Indian Penal Code, extortion is provided. It means by subjecting a person to threat, that person.
Section 498A of IPC.
So section 498A of IPC provides for cruelty.
Cruelty.
Sorry, sir.
Against whom?
Against a woman,
By?
the husband and the relatives of the husband.
Dowry debt is written in which section?
Section 304B of the Indian Penal Code, where if a married woman dies within 7 years of her marriage and before her death she was subjected to cruelty in relation to demand of dowry, the death is known as dowry death.
Okay. What is criminal intimidation and under which section it has been written?
So criminal intimidation is provided in section 503 of the Indian Penal Code. It means that any act which causes alarm to another person and threat to
What
person.
is stalking and in which section it has been written?
So section 354D of Indian Penal Code provides for stalking, whereby one person continuously follows the activities of another, whether online or offline, without that person's consent.
What is the statute which deals with the social media regulations and all?
So the Information Technology Act 2000.
So can you tell me what is meant by offer? Did you have contact as one of the papers?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
But basics you know, right?
Yes, sir.
So what is the offer?
Sir,
What are the essential ingredients of an offer?
Sir, offer is when one person signifies to another person to do or abstain from doing something in return to obtain that person's assent.
Constitutional media is an example of procedural law or substantive law?
Substantive law, sir.
Yeah, it does not have any procedure or it is a mix of both?
Sir, it is a substantive,
It's substantive law.
sir.
Okay. So Constitution you have studied?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So tell me, what are the exceptions to right to equality? What are the exceptions to right to equality?
Sir, I'll not be able to tell that.
There are some special privileges given to, let's say, president and governor and constitutional
Yes, sir.
Can a criminal case be filed against the President of India and within his period of presidency? Does the Supreme Court or the High Court or any other court of law have the right to file a criminal case, to accept a criminal case against the President of India?
No, sir.
No? Civil case?
I'm not aware of that.
Okay. Those things will come under your exceptions to right to equality. Okay. So, what is Article 26 of the Indian Constitution?
The freedom of religion. Sorry, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the difference between article and section?
Sir, by an instance I would like to illustrate. In Constitution there is the usage of the word article. It is to elaborate the provisions by which the Constitution is used, or the basis by which other legal norms are formed. So just to provide more importance and elaborately discuss the provisions, the word article is used, and section is direct and is limited.
Tell me the provisions of CRPC when an offence is committed outside India.
Sir, when an offence is committed outside India,
suppose Indian citizen,
yes,
he commits some crime in US. What does the CRPC tell about it? To be more specific, can you tell me the content of section 188 and 189 of CRPC?
I'm not being able to recall that as of now.
Okay. What is the concept of res gestae?
So the concept of res gestae means when one act which is not particularly in issue but is a part of the same transaction or is done during or after, before or after the time which is not.
What is meant by hostile witness, and in this section of Evidence Act it is related?
So section 154 of Evidence Act provides for hostile witness. It means that when one party presents a witness from.
Privileged communication, and which sections of Indian Evidence Act deal with that?
So privileged communications are contained from section 121 to 132 of the Indian Evidence Act. It means that these communications no witness can be compelled to disclose in front of the court.
Tell me something about the contracts that cannot be specifically enforced under the specific Indian Act.
So if a contract has been obtained or has been satisfied by substituted service. Secondly, if a person has any doubt that his legal right or status could be questioned by any person in future, then that person can file a case to declare his legal status and right with respect to a property. That is a declaratory case.
What are your other options?
So transfer of property, specific limitation, IPC tort and personal law.
Personal law?
Yes, sir.
So, brother's widow will come under which class or why? Brother's widow?
Brother's widow in second class.
Class 2?
Yes, sir.
Remember the entry number?
No, sir.
So, what is the concept of a Hindu undivided family?
Sir, a Hindu undivided family,
Who is the head of that?
so the karta or the manager.
What is the concept of escheat?
Escheat means if a person dies intestate, does not have any heirs in class 1, class 2.
What is the meaning of musha in Mohammedan law?
Sir, undivided share of a person's property.
What is mutawali?
Mutawali is a person who is appointed to take care of a waqf.
What is the difference between the Hanafi law and the other laws of inheritance in the Mohammedan law?
Sir, I'm sorry, I'll not be able to answer that.
Okay. So, what is the concept, essential characteristic of a will under Indian Succession Act?
So it has to be in writing, it has to be, sorry sir.
What are the different types of wills?
So the privileged will and the unprivileged will. Privileged wills are those which a person, if employed under the army.
What are the two types of Christian laws of inheritance?
I'm sorry sir, I'll not be able to answer that.
Okay, so that will be the end of the interview. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, से जो कमीशन का